WNBA, young studs. Young stars, specifically Paige Bueckers, all-star, shout out, by the way. Next in line, specifically Angel Reese. Who doesn't love to talk about Angel Reese? And the controversy, for whatever reason, the controversy about loving her or hating her. Next in line, Sonia Citron, perhaps my favorite, under-the-radar sort of WNBA rookie that I'm really enjoying watching. Let's talk about all three, and maybe a little more. Why not? Let us talk about some of the WNBA young talent in the league right now. The start of the season is always a fun one because guess what? You get to learn more about players, and you get to learn if players meet expectations, whatever lofty expectations some may have on them. Starting with Paige Bueckers, that's a great place to start because it's always fascinating to me. Number one pick comes into the league. Some people expect them to be a star from day dot. Some people literally expect them to be like, they're going to take over the league. A la Caitlin Clark. People expected it to be her league very quickly, and maybe it is shortly becoming hers. But the beauty of being number one and the beauty of these generational talents is that they actually can meet those expectations. And it's not just some fan being like, hey, this would be really cool if it did happen. Because it might actually happen. Caitlin Clark, we've seen what she did in year one. I'm going to compare her and Paige Bueckers' numbers for a specific reason. But Bueckers came in with the exact same sort of thing as Caitlin Clark did. Maybe not as much hype, maybe not as much expectation, or maybe I'm completely off. And I'd love to be completely off because I really like Paige Bueckers' game and her attitude as well, which I'm going to touch on. But just the expectations from a number one pick coming into the league is always really cool. Even in like the men's league, the NBA, Cooper Flagg, like Blake Griffin all those years ago, Zion. You can fully expect these people to actually come into the league from day dot and become stars. So that's always fascinating. But the one thing I wanted to talk about with Paige was the fact that as a rookie, she made the NBA. That's wrong. The WNBA. I should just start that again, but I'm not. She made the WNBA All-Star team as a rookie, and that's super impressive. And it made me want to go through the numbers, see how rare this really is. Because my mind went to, obviously, Caitlin Clark, and then you compare it to the NBA. And my mind was like, okay, maybe it happens more in the WNBA for whatever reason. Maybe it's because the players out of college, they can't come in as freshmen. They have to come in as seniors or whatever the rules are these days in terms of you have to play like 3 years at college or you have to be a certain age to get into the WNBA from college, whatever it is. Maybe that means it's more likely for them to be an all-star from year one, and that makes total sense. So I've actually done pretty well there with my explanation because that was something I kind of just thought about on the spot. But NBA is different. You can come in as like an 18-year-old kid and you can be really raw, but they might draft you number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, based off your potential, which I think is sort of different in the WNBA. But it made me compare some stats. Let's look at some stats. 45 rookies in NBA history have made the All-Star team. Blake Griffin, last one in 2000 and whatever he was, 2003, let's say, somewhere around then. Is that too much? Maybe it is 2003. That's wrong. It's more like 2010 or 13 because LeBron came in at 2003. Anyway, a while ago. It's been a while since an NBA player has done it. I think Victor Wembanyama would have done it. If my memory serves me correct, he got injured towards the end of his last few months or whatever in his rookie season, but it maybe he would have been next in line. But then you go into WNBA history and 10 of them have done it. Most notably, Caitlin Clark last year and Angel Reese. Sorry, that's a doubleheader right there. I'm not forgetting Angel Reese. She made it as a rookie last year as well. The year before that, Aaliyah Boston in 2023. So it's more common in WNBA history, even though it's only been 10 versus 45. But the leagues were in different shape, and how long NBA and WNBA league has actually gone on, I should look into that. But the other thing I wanted to compare was Paige Bueckers' rookie numbers to date being July 2nd, versus Caitlin Clark's rookie numbers in her rookie season, because they both made the All-Star team. So I wanted to dive into it quickly because I find that quite fascinating. Now let's read Caitlin Clark's 19.2 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, 8.4 assists. Percentages are there, 42% from field, 34% from three. Not as relevant. But then you look at Bueckers, who did the exact same thing by making the All-Star team as a rookie, 18.4 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, 5.8 assists. A bit down on every single number, especially assist, 8.4 versus 5.8, a bit lower. But I just found it interesting. Obviously, great numbers regardless as a rookie, but Caitlin Clark a bit above. Not to make the direct comparison there, but it's still fascinating to me. Really cool though. Really cool accomplishment to do that in your first year. There's a part of me, I was like, I wanted to come up with a term for this. It made me think back to recent discussions in my head or with people about young players, a la OKC, winning a championship when they're young. Is there something like a, what do you call it? I'm going to think of a good term for this. I'll think of a better term for it. But it's basically like when you're young and you reach a goal quicker than expected. Do you then have some sort of fallback from that? Is there a negative to that? You're not as motivated. You're not as whatever. Or maybe I'm completely off and it's nothing but a positive, because obviously winning a championship or winning a MVP or first team All-NBA Defensive Player of the Year, surely maybe that elevates you to a different hemisphere in terms of basketball legacy. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I'd love to know, and maybe I'll get the chance one day to talk to an athlete, whether that's actually a thing. You reach a goal earlier than you expected, and suddenly you're like, this isn't how I pictured my career would be. I pictured myself working my ass off for 5 more years to get to this point. I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear. Quickly on Paige Bueckers' game, the first thing that stands out to me is her mid-range, or the midi as people keep calling it. I don't mind that at all. People say the mid-range is dead in the men's league, but in the women's league, the WNBA, I think it's more prominent. Like it's more, I kind of reckon the brand of basketball in WNBA is better because it's not as 3-point heavy, but she loves the mid-range, and that's the first thing I kind of look at every time I look at Bueckers' highlights. She's confident, which obviously you have to be, but she's not like, I hate to keep bringing it back to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but for whatever reason, those two get in a lot more, I was going to say fisticuffs, but call it whatever you want. They get into a lot more tangles with the opposition. But for some reason, the opposition seems to like Paige Bueckers. Clearly, she has a different attitude to those other two. And clearly, she's come into the league a bit differently. And maybe her peers just respect her more, or maybe she's more playful. I don't know. There's something about her character that I think WNBA players go towards. They're more like attracted to that character versus whatever Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese came in as. I don't know what that reason is. Maybe she's just super likable. That's the person she comes across as. Likable, confident, competitor. Sounds like a killer 3 characteristics right there. That's enough on Bueckers. I really want to watch more of it. It's fascinating how sort of careers develop after you've already made the All-Star team. How much better you can be. Can she be like the face of the league over Caitlin Clark? Can those two have a rivalry for years and years to come? That's what's exciting about the WNBA right now, the young stars. But an under-the-radar one, Sonia Citron. Now, I say under the radar, but she was the 3rd overall pick, so that's probably not too under the radar. If you can get drafted that highly, I understand that. But I'm just saying that in terms of people are constantly talking about Paige Bueckers, just like I did off the top of this. But I'm going to dedicate some time to Sonia Citron on this, and I should dedicate some time to watching her live play. And I actually do want to watch Washington Mystics games a lot more now because of her and because of the other rookies, Jade Melbourne, a few other people. They're brewing something good in Washington. I can feel it. But a lot of that is the head of the snake, and that is Sonia Citron starting as a point guard in her first year. Averages of 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists as a rookie right now. Did not make the All-Star team, but that doesn't matter. But it's really her game that stands out to me. When I tune into a Washington game, she looks poised. She looks measured. She looks like she's been doing this for years at this level. And the one thing I kind of found funny to myself while watching, I was like, does she have a flaw? I know that sounds stupid as a first-year player, but does she have a clear identifiable flaw in her game from day one? Because when I was watching, I can't see it. She competes. She plays good defense. She plays like up and down. She's pretty smart defensively. Her shot looks good. Maybe it's a bit slow. Maybe I'm just making it up to try to find a flaw so I don't seem biased. I don't know. Her shot looks good. I think she's shooting a good percentage. I should look that up right now. I will. Shot looks good. She only averages 2 assists per game. So I don't know. Maybe you can say she needs to play make a bit more. I don't know. I'm pulling at loose straws right now because I want to find a flaw in her game so I don't seem too high on her. What was I going to check out? I've gone blank. Oh, 3-point percent. There you go, 38%. Good. Great for a rookie. I'm going to say that's great. 38% right now on 4.5 attempts per game. She's a good shooter. I'm glad that stat backed me up. Steals 1.2 per game. I should round out some more numbers that back up my point. But my point is that she seems like she can do everything out there. And she seems more confident than I kind of realized. She comes across as kind of like an unassuming, maybe like figure that maybe doesn't love the spotlight like some of these other rookies do. Or maybe she's just not getting that spotlight and she would welcome it. I don't know. But she comes across as more unassuming, but she's got game. And that's what I really like about her. And I feel like she's just going to keep... She's already averaging 15 as a starting point guard, as a rookie. Like, that's really good. To point out the blatant obvious, that's really good. So she's one that... She's almost like kind of my favorite rookie at the moment, even though I really like Paige's game. But there's a part of me as a fan, and I'm sure many can relate to this, but if the media is hyping up one player or one rookie in any category, whatever they're talking about, there's part of me that always likes to find my person, like my player that I'm like, don't forget about her. So Sonia Citron might be that for me. Please do watch her. And don't just watch Paige Bueckers. Don't just watch Caitlin Clark. Don't just watch some of these rookies that are getting more love. Watch them. Now, the juicy one. Nah, not juicy. The Angel Reese conversation. People love to talk about Angel Reese a lot. Hey, she was a rookie all-star as well last year, and she might make another team as they announce the reserves, which I'm not sure they have done yet, but people love to talk about Reese. Good, bad, ugly, stupid, whatever. She's controversial in the terms of that's what she brings out in fans. Some are fair enough, like some question her her overall skill level or some of the plays she makes in terms of like her self-rebounds. And fun fact, she's apparently coined the phrase me bounds because people kept making fun of her that she misses her own rebounds either on purpose. Misses her own shots either on purpose or her lack of skill, people say, whatever, purely so she can get more rebounds and make her stats look good. I'm not buying that for a second. I agree she's not the best finisher around the rim, but to actually say that you do it on purpose is absolutely next level. Make of it what you will. But she's coined that phrase. She's just adopted it. She's ran with it. She's like, you know what? You're making fun of me, but I'm fine with me bounds. Anyway, it got to the point that her coach used it the other day in like a post-game huddle in the locker room. Funny, quite amusing. But let's talk about what she's doing over the last 4 games because those numbers are pretty crazy. And there's one aspect of a game that's standing out to me. But I'll go over them quickly. 17 points a game, 17.5 rebounds a game. Let me go over that again. It's 17. Oh, excuse me. 17.5 rebounds per game, 4.8 assists and 2.3 steals. But the playmaking aspect is clearly what stands out to me regardless of the rebounds, even though the rebounds are crazy and that you would think that is what would be most impressive. But her playmaking ability, some of the passes I didn't know she had in her game. So that's what excites me about her. But the 17.5 rebounds, this is the 4th straight games of 15 plus rebounds, which nobody has ever done before. 15 plus boards, 4 straight games. Nobody has ever done in WNBA history. That alone tells me what type of skill she has. And it's the argument of if skill is a talent. I'm going to say it is. Because if everyone could do what she does in terms of hustle, effort, defense, all that stuff, rebounding, then everyone would. The fact is everyone can't, and a lot of people can't. Most people can't. So I'm calling that a talent that you acquire, you learn, you whatever. Just like that you're born with. Just like other talents. I think that makes most sense. But her line of 24 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists the other day had only been done as well 3 times in WNBA history. Candace Parker, a few other big names, only 3 other times, and that she now joins that list of 24 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists. Awesome. I love the all-round game. And the 24 points is even more impressive because people doubt her scoring ability. People are like, she has no talent around the rim. She whatever. All I'm saying is it has to work both ways. And I've had some debates, arguments with people I know. Sort of, they're good to hear because I think I'm almost too much on the side of like, let's lift her up too much, even though people say she brings it upon herself by saying like, hey, you watch games because of me, and maybe the confidence. Maybe she's overly confident. But I think it has to work both ways. If you are going to hate on her, you have to pump her up as well. Or someone has to. And I'm happy to do that. I just wanted to highlight her here because that's what I wanted to do. She cops a heap of hate. For whatever reason, she's just controversial. People, like I said, say she brings it up on herself, but I don't think that's fair. Anyway, those numbers speak for themselves. I find them awesome just to look at, even from a bird's eye view. You don't have to know how she got the numbers, but 17, 17.5, 4.8, and 2.3 steals over her last 4 games is awesome. And to top it off, to cap off her effort there and to cap off this episode, she said in her post-game interview after that 24 point, 16 boards, 7.7 assist outing, that in her first game she was trash. She just admitted it. She's like, you know what? I wasn't playing to my capabilities. I wasn't doing what I expected myself and probably what fans expected of her. So maybe she was with them all along. It's funny how these things work, but the hate, the love, it just has to work both ways.